This game has so many good characters. I think this is my favorite Final Fantasy ending. Like with the way final battle and story ending of all of the Final Fantasies. Lower the volume, we want to hear your want to hear my pain. You want to hear Zor cry more? I'm already crying. I've been crying. What do you mean? Go ahead and cry. I've been crying, bro. So what do you reckon the DLC will be about? It's possible the DLC might be we either play as Jill or it'll be from Joshua's perspective, like we play as Joshua. Or Sid. I feel like it'd be more of a supplementary to the story. Ooh, Leviathan Lost Chapter would be interesting. Yo, a Torgal episode? They could totally do that too. I feel destroyed. Feel numb. Why does Clive have to dodge? He has to. He used way too much of his power. Like he said even his vessel, so Clive's body couldn't handle Ultima. You don't know that rumor? There's a rumor that the medicine girl, what's her name? The one that Terrence took care of is Leviathan. But you hope Joshua comes back? Or Yote and Jill are pregnant? No, I don't think Yote. Jill maybe, but I doubt. But not Yote. Amanda did a great job. Well, I like when I saw Clive's hand turn to stone. Part of me was like, no! And then I was like, wait, why am I knowing? I knew he was going to die. I had a feeling they were gonna go the same route as 15. I had assumed all the dominants were going to die. Yeah. There was a possibility that after Ultima was killed, all the dominants would die. Given all the final goodbyes, it looked like a suicide mission for sure. Yeah, JR, 100%. I think they did that part really well because one, Clive gave the Sid name to Gav. They did such a great job building the NPCs, the side characters. I think it's the first, I want to say Final Fantasy game where they sort of accept that there is a chance that they won't come back. Usually, or even in stories, in anime and in RPGs altogether, a lot of people go with, they're like, no, you can't give that back to me until because I know you're coming back. You're 110% coming back. And like, if they don't come back, like, they'll never know or they live in oblivion. But this was an actual goodbye. Like, they knew that there was a chance they weren't coming back. Plus Leviathan being the icon of the seas, that gives them an excellent out to get the hell away from Valisthea. True! Could be on a different island. They do hint that Valisthea is not the only landmass on this planet. Yeah, Dion was totally saying, I'm gonna die. And even in that his last side quest, where he's talking to Harpocrates, Harpocrates hands him the flower, and that flower represented duty. Like, oh, you're gonna come back. And Dion literally said no. And you could see it in Harpocrates, like, he was saying, I'll give it to you when you come back. But you could see on his face, he knew that Dion wasn't coming back. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I love stories that make me sob. I haven't sobbed to a story, like to a game like this, except for 14. Final Fantasy 14. As a standalone Final Fantasy game, they did a really good job with the ending, and that final fight was really cool. They even brought the Endwalker, like, everyone is saying. I love that Gav was the first one, though. Gav was for Garuda. I feel very satisfied with this ending. I don't know what the post-credit scene is going to be, but I feel very satisfied with this ending. I can see why people said there were pacing issues, but I really love the side quest lull. That's something that I appreciate in RPGs. Oh, let's fight this thing. The world's going to end. Wait, let me play triple triad. Let me play cards. Oh, let me help you with your dog. You know what I mean? But the side quests in this game were had meaning. You know what I mean? Yeah, all of the side quests flowed with the story, and it enhanced it made me care to go back to each city and just talk, like not even talk, just listen to what everyone's saying. Because even like the side characters that you don't even talk to, like you hear their conversations. As the story progresses, you can go back to those characters and see how they progressed, or like what's going on in the world in their life, and it's so cool. I'm very happy with this game. They went very, very hard with action-based, you know? But the thing is with Final Fantasy, at least for me, Final Fantasy was about change and them testing the waters for new things within the series. So it leaving the classic turn-based wasn't 100% unexpected. They've been moving away from turn-based for years. Look at 12. Yeah. The last actual turn-based Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy X. And that was PS2. I guess you also have World of Final Fantasy, but people are turned off by the fact that it's chibi. It's a really good game. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't tried World of Final Fantasy. No, 2 mainline Final Fantasy games have actually been the same gameplay-wise, and it hasn't been turn-based since 3. Yeah, they're all very different. The problem you have with 16, if you take away the story lore, what do you have left? The combat is good because the story is attached to it, but the raw game alone gets boring for you. I respect your opinion. I can see why. I love the combat. Not just because of the story. What I love about the combat is people coming into my stream and telling me, oh, this move is the best. And then someone completely different, like 5 minutes later, telling me, no, this move is the best. And then I have 5 or 7 people saying, oh, I used Titan all the way through. Oh, I used Shiva. I used Odin all the way through. I used... Everyone has their own view and, like, of the battle system. And I find that so cool. It's so versatile. Like, you talk to people, you watch people play this game, and you're just like, I didn't play that game that way. In terms of versatility, I think it's very good. It has a lot of promise, but only if you're willing to accept change. And only if you're willing to, like, mix up the moves that you use. Because honestly, there isn't just one set of moves that's like, oh, this is the best combo. If you use them right, you can have a bunch of different sets of combos. It's a very cool system, but I can see why some people would find it like it's not for everyone. The battle system is not for it. The story is not for everyone. Some people don't like gore. Some people don't like action combat, and that's okay. You can play a different game. There's a plethora of amazing, incredible games out there. As long as we all agree that Zora is the one doing it wrong, then it's fine. Yes. I mean, I did hit 140. I think that was my highest, 140k. Story lore is there to hook the player, and if it doesn't, the game will not be fun. Yeah, there's enough potential for variety in the combat or loadouts that you can really experiment and make wild builds. Yeah, you're trying to do one focused on ranged attacks with your next play. Oh, that's cool. I haven't thought of it. I barely used magic because it's not my style, but it would be very helpful if I learned how to do it. You know what I mean? Ramu is my favorite to use, and I find it really interesting and fun that a lot of people don't like using Ramu. Using Ramu was one of the best things that I did early on, and then I still kept that bit. You just want more outfits, more party stuff, Biggs and Wedge. Oh, Biggs and Wedge. And some super bosses like Omega and whatnot. And oh, Tonberries, otherwise you have no gripes. Tonberries would be good. I think it'd be interesting if they added that to the DLC maybe. They could also, because it's also a Square Enix thing to do, where they make a DLC that happens before the end of the game, like they just add a different zone. These people are fantastic. Wish we got us to see Zor ugly cry again. Yoshipi has gotten me twice. Ishikawa's gotten me twice. Magic is great to use when the target is so far. Yeah, I only started utilizing magic in that final battle. Because I forget that I have it, because I barely use it. If people are making different builds, that's a good sign, yeah. Replayability is definitely there. And also the Final Fantasy mode, I'm so curious about. Ramu never used once the next icon was revealed. Yeah, and you're not the only one who thought that, or who did that, Duo. Was that Lightning Rod? You use that in tandem with Dance of Steel all the time. Yeah, I used the Lightning Rod as well, but I didn't start using Dance of Steel. I would immediately go from Lightning Rod to Bahamut or to Shiva's Diamond Dust. And then I started incorporating Dance of Steel. But Casey didn't like 7. And the streamers you've watched, those who loved 9 more than 7, like 16 more than the other way around. I could see that. I think it's probably because of the... it's interesting. I wonder why. It's okay, they're allowed to be wrong. Hey, everyone has their own opinion, you know? Sorry, it's amateur hour. There's some people who really like that, you know? Sometimes a complicated story doesn't equate a good story. You know what I mean? Oh, Tonberry King would be really cool. Could you imagine Clive using Tonberry King? That would be funny, but I feel like for the seriousness of this story, Tonberry King or like the Moogle, Chocobo Moogle summons kind of would have been really funny. Older black-haired brother, younger blonde brother, and puppy. What if the mother is the medicine girl? Oh, the mother is the chick that's never sure who she's in love with. She finally picked someone. Is it really Asta? No, it's not Asta. Did Asta get her happy ending? Can't be Asta. She lived the war of the icon. Right. We don't know how long in the future that is. Okay. Dude. Final Fantasy gameplay mode offers the following: increased enemy strength and increased cap level, new gear and items, mode exclusive content. Dude, this game was so good. I'm trying to see where Final Fantasy 16 stacks in my my favorite Final Fantasies. My list right now is Final Fantasy 9, 6 and 10, 4, or might have been Tactics. But if Tactics doesn't count for doing just mainline. 7 Remake are the top 2 because they've affected you. 7 Remake, I can't... Oh, I guess I can rank Remake because they're making them sort of stand alone. Jeez, I'm gonna do a tier list. The only Final Fantasy game that I haven't finished is Final Fantasy X-2. And I was at the final boss. Final Fantasy 14 for me is in a separate category because it is MMO. It has... it doesn't seem fair pitting it against a game that has a beginning and end. I think in terms of story, this might be my favorite Final Fantasy. Definitely favorite romance that I've seen in any of the Final Fantasies. Because it nailed what 15 didn't with the ending. It's weird. Because Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite. It's just Ishikawa, incredible writer. The battle system's amazing. I'm trying to see if it overwrites my first Final Fantasy and the Final Fantasy that saved my life. my knee-jerk reaction makes me want to say this is my favorite Final Fantasy game. Yeah, you need the slower moments for pacing, 100%. Like, all games need it. I had a few issues, rather than pacing for this game, is placement of specific side stories. But if we're talking about main story, I loved it. There hasn't been a Final Fantasy game other than 14 where the story made me cry during the battle, during a fight sequence. I don't think there's a game that... Trying to remember Ghost of Tsushima. That wasn't really a final battle. You know what I mean? Like, Final Fantasy X's ending made me cry. My criteria for a really good story is if you can make me cry and you destroy my feelings. Like, you destroy me. I want a story to destroy me in the feels, like uppercut me in the stomach and leave me like wanting for more. And this game did that. So Zor, the real question is, when will Yoshi P make Zor cry again? Probably in the next expansion. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. And it's Ishikawa. I blame Ishikawa. Because, like, you can create a story, like a really emotional story, but it is the way that the script is written and the way it's executed, you know what I mean? Yeah, Gigakawa. Facts. Oh my god. Okay, it's already 3:42? That ending didn't feel long. It didn't feel like it dragged at all. I'm a little shook. I didn't realize. Yeah, a lot of the ending was fight with emotion. Yeah, I was so focused. Final fight was less than 90 minutes. It didn't give you a lot of time to mourn Dion, and Joshua 4 it through at Ultima. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to. So the time, I feel like the time to mourn them was before you left. There was a chance, they all knew. Joshua throughout the entire game was like, I have to do my part. I have to do my part. And he was already willing to do his part, which was to die. Ishikawa nails it. A great example with Heaven's Ward came out and you unlocked Machinist and did the campaign on that job. When you were done, you figured you unlocked Dark and Astro. You unlocked Dark Knight and didn't get back to Astrologian until Dark was at 60. You couldn't put it down. Fighting with storytelling is absolutely master. It is a master move. Who are they? He had to do his duty as a brother told him to at the beginning of the game. Yeah, it's not a perfect game. There are like 2 or 3 really glaring things that bother me about the game, but what I prioritize in a good game is it's really high up there. The characters are so good. The side characters are amazing. The distribution of side quests could have been better, but the side quests themselves, like, are great. Hunts was a point of critique for you. None of them really stood out. All were pretty easy. Oh, really? I thought they were fun. Rather than them being challenging, I thought they were fun. I assume that in hard mode it would be more difficult. I also completely understand why there are people who don't like the game, you know? Which boss did I feel was the hardest? For me, I think it was Odin. Odin was probably the hardest for me, because that was the only time that I couldn't really, thank you for clipping that, Coolin, that I couldn't really do what I normally did, which was, wait for stagger and then use all of my abilities. I couldn't use my rotation. Liquid Flame, which one was Liquid Flame? Drostanus, hold on, let me actually Google it. Oh! Oh, this one! I did have some difficulty with this one, but this one wasn't that bad. I think I had more trouble with Odin. Liquid Flame was fun, though. Oh, wait! No! Nier Automata is another game, but it's not Final Fantasy, but Nier Automata was another game where I was, like, sobbing. Like, I thought it was such a good game.